Hey all, Fiorim here. I'm continuing my tips and tricks series with a topic that I hope will be useful, especially for the new players out there, namely how to deal with the various enemies in the game. They might not be a big threat once you learn how to handle them, but at least I was somewhat scared of them, especially the spiders, in my early pioneering days. As a general rule, before you start fighting the monsters, make sure that you have enough health. The maximum health in the game is 100, and that's where you start. You automatically regenerate health when you're out of combat, but only up to 30. 30 might be enough for the early game enemies, but when you face the more difficult ones, you should aim to be at, or at least nearly, at full health. Health can be restored by Beryl Nuts, Paleberries, bacon agarics, and medicinal inhalers. The nuts restore 5 HP, the berries 10 HP, the mushroom 20 HP, and the inhalers restore your health to full. The first three are found in the open world, but the inhalers require unlocking in the MAM. There are 3 recipes for the medicinal inhalers: the nutritional inhaler, the alien organs based inhaler, and the mycelia based medicinal inhaler. In my opinion, the easiest way to craft them is the alien organs based recipe, since you get plenty of organs by fighting spitters and stinkers. Also, each bacon agaric that you find should, in my opinion, be turned to an inhaler instead of eating them raw. Apart from having enough health, you will also need a weapon to fight the enemies. You start the game with the Xeno-Zapper, which deals 5 damage on a hit and can be used twice in a quick succession. In Tier 4 you get the Xeno-Basher, which is an improved and much more cool looking version of the Zapper. It deals 7 damage on the first hit, and you can double attack with it, where the second hit hits for 14 damage. Building one should be a high priority in the early game. There are also ranged weapons in the game, the Rebar Gun and the rifle. Both are unlocked via MAM, but the Rebar Gun requires much less advanced materials, so you'll likely unlock it much faster than the rifle. The Rebar Gun shoots a projectile that hits for 15 damage. The projectile doesn't travel in a straight line, so you need to aim a bit higher than where the enemy actually is. The gun also needs to be reloaded after each shot. The rifle, on the other hand, only hits for 6 damage, but the projectile travels in a straight line, so it's much easier to aim. It also fires more rapidly and only needs to be reloaded after shooting 10 shots. In addition to these more conventional weapons, you can also use nobelisks as a weapon. They are also unlocked via MAM and are otherwise used to demolish some of the boulders in the game. They can be thrown at enemies and then exploded. If the enemy is within 7.5 meters radius from the nobelisk, they will get damaged, depending on how far from the nobelisk they were. They can also be attached to enemies, although achieving this might be quite hard. As a funny detail, the Fixmas snowballs can also be used as nobelisks in the nobelisk detonators, but the Fixmas event needs to be active in order for you to be able to craft more. With that being said, let's look at how the various enemies should be approached. Quite likely the first monster you encounter are the fluffy-tailed Hogs. They are melee creatures that charge at you and hit for 10 damage. It's quite easy to dodge the attack by simply jumping or moving away when they are about to hit you. They have 20 HP, so a double hit from the Xeno-Basher is enough to beat them. With Xeno-Zapper you will need 2 double attacks to achieve that. There are also significantly tougher versions of the Hogs, namely the Alpha Hogs. Their charge does 20 damage and sends you flying, potentially also off a cliff as you see here. And in melee range they bite for 30 damage. The easiest way to kill them is to approach them from above, with the help of a ladder for instance, and shooting them with a rifle, Rebar Gun or nobelisks. Even Xeno-Basher works if you get close enough on a ladder. They will try to escape when attacked, so the path should be first blocked with, for instance, splitters or walls. Splitters are usually easier to place as walls need foundations and you can't place foundations under enemies. Here you can see me struggling with walls, it's not always easy. The flying crabs are also common in the starting zones. When you approach the hatcher, 3 bee-like creatures attack you. They hit for 5 damage and have 6 hit points, so they can be one-shot with a Xeno-Basher. However, they are kind of annoying as they fly around you sort of randomly and often end up attacking from behind. So most often you just end up waving your weapon like a maniac and hoping to hit something. The by far easiest way to kill them is to use the rifle from far enough so that they don't attack you. The rifle also one-shots the bees. You can also just shoot the hatcher from afar and wait for the bees to respawn. The third enemy type in the game are the spitters. The basic ones are quite common in the starting zones, especially near some of the more advanced resources like coal. They have 40 hit points, so they require 2 double hits from a Xeno-Basher to beat. They shoot fireballs that are relatively easy to dodge and that hit for 10 damage. In close combat they also do melee for 5 damage. The fireball has a few seconds cooldown, so wait for one to be shot, then approach the monster and start attacking. The alpha spitters are much more dangerous. There are 2 versions of this monster, red and the more rare green. Both shoot multiple fireballs that each hit for 10 damage. The red one does 10 damage in melee, whereas the green one does 5 damage. The green one also shoots single fireballs that hit for 20 damage. The red alpha spitter has 60 HP, while the green one has 80. My advice is to heal to full health before engaging these monsters, as if you get unlucky hits from several fireballs, they can really hurt. I also like to build an industrial container near them that can be used as cover, as they can't shoot fireballs through it. You can easily reload and heal behind it if necessary. Then it's a choice between meleeing them with Xeno-Basher or ranging them with, for instance, rifle. Sometimes it's also possible to rifle these from maximum range without them attacking back, as you can see here. I should probably also mention the Spore Flowers. Even though they are not directly attacking you, they emit poison gas which can be annoying, especially before you get the gas mask. You should know though that it's possible to destroy these with nobelisk, as shown here. And then there's only one monster group left. I've saved the best for the last. The spiders, or stingers as they are officially called, are one of the most hated things in the game. There's even arachnophobia mode that turns them into cute cat gifs, but I think that and the meow sounds makes them even more creepy. The stingers are commonly found in caves, and also in the open world in some of the high level zones, such as the swamp. The basic stingers are very easy to kill with the Xeno-Basher, as they only have 10 HP and a double swing that easily beats them. They also only hit for 5 damage. The alpha stingers are a larger and a more dangerous variant. They have 50 HP and their melee attack hits for 30 damage. They can also leap up to 10 meters, and if the leap hits you it does 50 damage. But if you stay in melee range of them and move to dodge their attacks, they shouldn't pose much of a problem. Finally there's the poison gas emitting elite stinger. This is probably the toughest monster in the game, but if you come prepared with a gas mask and full health, they shouldn't be much more difficult than the alpha stinger, since apart from the poison, their abilities are exactly the same. The elite stinger has twice the HP of the alpha stinger though. And with that we have covered all the hostile creatures in the game. I hope you have learned something, and if you are new to the game, this video should give you confidence that the enemies in the game are mostly just nuisance that you quickly learn to deal with. Thanks for watching, remember to subscribe if you want to. See you soon for the next video.